Prowlers are making one more trip down south this regular season. It's a visit to Columbus to face the River Dragons. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. These two teams both come in having won 7 of their last 10. They are number 1 and number 2 in the Continental Division standings, although they have had very different luck over the past couple of weeks. Prowlers coming in off of one of their best games of the season, certainly one of the most entertaining games of the year. And we'll get to all of that coming up on the pregame show. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Columbus, we're just about 7 minutes away from puck drop here at the Columbus Civic Center as the Prowlers and the River Dragons get set to do battle for the 7th time this season. And unfortunately for Port Huron, just one victory in the first 6 meetings between these two teams. Prowlers are 1-5 against the River Dragons, 0-2 here at the Columbus Civic Center. Well, let's take a look back at the last game. First for the River Dragons. They had lost 3 straight games, all of them to the Carolina Thunderbirds going into that one. They found themselves trailing in the third period, 5-4, but Josh Petrantonio tied it up just past the midway point. And then Jacob Kelly, one of the great young stars of the FPHL, notched the OT winner. That gave Columbus 2 points against Carolina. And once again, snapped a 3-game losing skid. All 3 of those losses coming to the Thunderbirds. And that was in great interest to the Port Huron Prowlers, who are sitting just ahead of the Carolina Thunderbirds in the standings. We'll show you those in just a minute, but first, let's talk about this Prowlers last game. That was last Saturday against the Motor City Rockers, their 4th straight game against Motor City. Port Huron had more luck against the Rockers, winning the 2 games 2 weeks ago, and then Motor City did win the first game of the series last week, but the Prowlers came back with a 2-1 shootout victory behind Wyatt Hoplin's 41 save performance. He was in a heck of a goaltending battle with Trevor Babin, both goaltenders leaving with over 40 saves. Dan Chartrand scored the winner in the shootout. He scored in the 4th round of the shootout. Hoplin stopped Tommy Cardinal in the 5th round, and that is how the Prowlers took down the Motor City Rockers and once again tied up the Battle of I-94. Both teams sitting at 6 wins apiece in that rivalry series. Still 4 games to go between the Prowlers and the Rockers this season. Hofflin was absolutely fantastic in that game. As I mentioned, 41 saves. He went 4 for 5 in the shootout. Perfect after giving up a goal to Tim Perks in the opening round of the shootout. Dalton Jay was able to tie it in the 3rd, and that kept things going. But the Prowlers do pick up the victory, and they do keep themselves in 2nd place in the Continental Division standings. Of course, 12 points back of the River Dragons, so they can get just a little bit closer this weekend if they sweep Columbus. But really the bigger concern is behind the Prowlers, as the Carolina Thunderbirds have snuck within 3 points, and still with plenty of games in hand, winning that win percentage category handedly as well, are the Thunderbirds. They are hosting the Mississippi Seawolves tonight. That one gets underway in about 10 minutes. All 10 teams in the FPHL are playing tonight, so may see some shifts in the standings. Prowlers hoping to keep that 2nd spot in the Continental Division. Well, Brendan Colgan will be between the pipes for the River Dragons, and since the last time he faced the Port Huron Prowlers in a victory for the Dragons on December 23rd at McMorran Place, it's been hot and cold for him. 4 straight shutouts for him, an FPHL record immediately following that start on December 23rd. And then after that, 3 straight games with a sub 800 save percentage. It's been a tough go over those 3 games for the Prowlers, or for the River Dragons goaltender. All 3 of those games with a sub 800 save percentage came against the Carolina Thunderbirds. Well, one player we won't be seeing in this series from a River Dragons perspective is Edgars Ozelinch, who received an 8-game suspension back on January 13th after an incident in Carolina. So he will be suspended for both of the games this weekend. Michael Greco is also suspended, but just for tonight's game. He will be available again tomorrow night as the River Dragons end a stretch of 8 of 10 games at home here at the Columbus Civic Center before they have to head back out on the road. Meanwhile, the Prowlers are getting ready to start a home-heavy back half of the schedule. After tonight, they have a well-deserved week off, and then some road games in late February, early March, but then 5 of the final 6 weeks of the season for the Prowlers will be at McMorran Place. Take a look at the Prowlers lineup in tonight's game. Once again, starting that third line, but instead of Sam Gagnon, who didn't make the trip, it's Zach Frescura lining up alongside Sam Merritt and Dan Chartrand. Only 5 defensemen for the Prowlers, with Adam Hansel still out and Sam Williams no longer with the team. So Austin Federley is back there, and that makes it 5 defensemen. Frank Schumacher and Gino Mini are the starting defense pair for Port Huron, while Wyatt Hofflin gets the start in net, coming off of his best game as a professional. Well, they're getting set to announce the starting lineups for the Columbus River Dragons. You just saw the starters for the Port Huron Prowlers, who will try and shut down this Columbus team who has shown that they are beatable and that they are not the unbeatable foes that they seem to be at the beginning of the year. We'll see if the Prowlers can take a page out of the Carolina Thunderbirds book, as Carolina once again has snuck closer to the Prowlers. Before we send you downstairs for the anthem, let's just give you real quick all of the games going on tonight. Currently in Binghamton, no score between the Hat Tricks and the Black Bears. That one late in the first period, a battle between the top 2 teams in the Empire Division. Meanwhile, getting underway at the same time as us, Watertown is visiting Motor City, and then 5 minutes after our game and that game begins, it's going to be the Delaware Thunder at the Elmira Mammoth. The Thunder 1 loss away from tying the Battle Creek Rumblebees for the longest losing streak in FPHL history. And then, as I mentioned, the Mississippi Seawolves visit the Carolina Thunderbirds. That one also gets underway at 7:35. Well, we will take you downstairs for the anthem right before puck drop. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders for tonight's game as Brendan Colgan and Wyatt Hofflin get set for their clubs. We mentioned about Brendan Colgan, 4 straight shutouts followed by 3 straight sub 800 save percentage games. It's been hot and cold for him, and we'll see which Brendan Colgan we get tonight. 12-3-1, an FPHL leading 2.40 goals against average and a 918 save percentage. Hofflin coming into this one 9-7-1 with a 4.51 goals against average and an 870 save percentage. 2 stats that he certainly improved tremendously after last Saturday's game. You see Evan Foley there taking the ceremonial puck drop for the Prowlers. He was named an alternate captain at practice the other day by head coach Matt Graham. Certainly a well-deserved honor for Evan Foley, a guy who is a true 200-foot player and someone that I think certainly is underrated in this league. So he will be trusted alongside Captain Dustin Henning and current alternate captains Dalton Jay and Austin Federley as a leader on this team. Well, unfortunately tonight I do not have my color partner Joe Noonan with me. He did not make the trip, unfortunately, but we have been enjoying his commentary. So it's Will Solo again tonight as we had earlier in the season. But I think the big key for the Prowlers tonight is to keep Columbus from scoring 5 goals, because if you look back at the 6 meetings so far, Columbus has scored at least 5 goals in each of them, including exactly 5 in 4 of the River Dragons' 5 wins. And the one time the Prowlers held them below 5 goals, Port Huron got the victory. That was back on December 10th. Puck drop between Sam Merritt and Cody Wickline, who is back from suspension. And we are underway. Frescura with an early dump as Petrantonio couldn't get it out. Minnie hoisted it on net. Comes over to the near side. Rogers got it out, goes all the way down. Hofflin plays it, leaves it for Minnie. He overskated the puck, and now the Dragons can set up. Rogers wrists it on, blocked on the way through, comes out to Aldworth. Looking for Wickline out of his reach. Now going towards the back door, that one popped up. One-time blast from the point from Petrantonio, didn't find it. Now Chartrand over towards Frescura. Looks like Petrantonio, the River Dragons captain, playing some defense tonight with all the defensemen that Columbus has out. We mentioned Greco and Ozelinch as well. So Petrantonio stepping up to play a little defense as that puck comes out of the zone and he retreats for it. 1 minute into period 1. Turnover. Here comes Foley down the left wing side. Foley drops it off to Devaney. Now Johnson just does all he can to keep it in. Comes over to Larry Vartiainen on the far side. That pass out of the reach of Alex Storjahan. Point in 9 of his last 11 games played for Alex Storjahan. Comes back out to center. Here's Kirk Underwood, deflected in by Lane King, who's missed the last few games with an injury. Underwood chopped it off of Devaney and out of play. 8:15 to go, period 1. No shots yet recorded by either side. No goals yet either, and it will be an offensive zone faceoff for the River Dragons. Alex Jameff and Matt Graham there to take it. Graham able to win it back cleanly. Here's the Prowlers captain, Dustin Henning. He's used to playing defense. That's his natural position, unlike Petrantonio. Work back to the point. Underwood's rising blast found the back glass. Jay turned it over. Freeborn able to battle and get it back. Here comes Liam Freeborn, made his FPHL debut in this building. Looking for Jay, cutting towards the net. Couldn't find him. Here's Underwood. This pass misses its intended target, and icing called against the River Dragons. Curiously, as Wyatt Hoffland looked like he went back to play that puck. And they are going to keep it at center. 17:38 to go in the opening period. So the my bad from the linesman puts the faceoff at center ice. Prowlers had 4 on the out there for the faceoff. Chartrand just jumped over the boards as the puck was being dropped. No harm, no foul though, as he tried to turn it on net. Couldn't get it there. Fresquera in hard on the forecheck. Made his season debut last Thursday in Motor City. Chartrand put it right through the crease. Kroot picks it up on the far side boards. Sends Aldworth on his way. Here's Aldworth. Nice move around Federley, and he just shot it wide. Thomas Aldworth, a little inside out on Austin Federley. Just couldn't get the shot on net. Chartrand takes a hit from Aldworth. Schumacher cut off an attempt towards the net. Now here's Frank Schumacher starting the rush. Dumps it in. Colgan gets a touch on it. I heard calls for icing, but those were waved off after Brendan Colgan got a stick on it. Aldworth steps past Vartiainen, over to Wickline. Back to Aldworth. Couldn't dance his way through Henning. Now Johnson around to Devaney. One touched on for Foley. Liam Freeborn out there right now with this line as Larry Vartiainen had his stick broken on the previous rush by the River Dragons, as Petrantonio stopped by Hofflin. Freeborn had it taken off his stick. River Dragons go up the boards and out. Here's Lane King. His pass cut off by Devaney. Nice toe drag around Storjahan, and couldn't connect with Freeborn. And Prowlers called for icing. 15:57 to go, period 1, as the faceoff comes back down to Prowler territory. As Joe Devaney made that pass, just couldn't link up with Liam Freeborn. Devaney, of course, the only Prowler to score during regulation in Saturday's 2-1 shootout victory. Took a breakaway pass from Dan Chartrand as Devaney stepped out of the box. He was serving a bench miner. Here's Foley in. Couldn't get that shot off cleanly as a back-checking River Dragon disrupted. This ball comes all the way over to Schumacher. Now here's Jay. Couldn't feed it in front. Schumacher. Now Freeborn. Turned, gave it to Gino Mini. That one almost picked off. Did come out of the zone. Mini able to force it back in, but it looks like he stepped in a bit too quickly before Foley was all the way out, so offsides the call against the Prowlers. 15:27 to go, period 1. Both teams making changes as the line's a little bit jumbled for the Prowlers. Here's Vartiainen out there in Liam Freeborn's spot on left wing. This looks like he and Freeborn just flip-flop lines at least for a shift, just because Vartiainen's stick broke early in his last shift. Here is Larry. Up ice with Schumacher. Took the shot. It was blocked out. Graham finds it in the slot. Couldn't control it as it was rolling and bouncing. Josh LaBelle tried to one-hand it on. LaBelle again. Vartiainen just able to kick it back in, and it's batted towards Prowler territory. Graham turns it up ice. Vartiainen chasing it down with Underwood. Colgan comes all the way out of his net to keep it away from Larry. Dragons trying to come out the other way. Chartrand battling for it. Underwood able to get it back to Jemef. Now LaBelle looking for Jemef. Puck's in his skates. Here's Fresquera with a rush. Fresquera takes the shot and a save by Colgan. He'll hang on for a whistle. 14:19 to go in the first period. It looked like he had Alex Johnson coming down the left wing, but Zach Fresquera elected to pull the trigger, and we will take a timeout. 14:19 to go, opening period, no score between the Prowlers and the Dragons. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Columbus, 14-19 to go, period one, and no score yet between the Prowlers and the River Dragons. As Zach Frescura took that last shot, 27 points in 37 games last season with Port Huron, still searching for his first point of the year in game number 3 after his return from injury last Thursday. The Brownstone, Michigan native Zach Frescura lined up over on the right wing of this line with Sam Merritt and Dan Chartrand. And now finally the immediate timeout can conclude and we can drop the puck. It's tied up at the dot. Merritt able to keep it deep, put it up to the point. Federle puts it all the way around, took a funny hop off the Zamboni door down there. Now it's rimmed in. Group in a battle along the boards, pulled out by Aldworth. Now worked up to the near side, Dragons trying to move it back. Merritt just deflects it in. Chased down by Vanelli, leaves it to Frejot. Wickline up ice. Took a hit from Chartrand, and now Johnson with the puck. Up to Dan Chartrand, has plenty of skating space, but not much help. He'll just get the blue line and dump it in. Here's Frejot. Almost had his pocket picked by Sam Merritt. Aldworth trying to dance his way through center. Puck taken off his stick. And Schumacher over to Joe Devaney fresh off the bench. Frejot gloves it down. Turns it up ice. Popped high up in the air. And now finally settled down by Frejot in his own end as we approach 7 minutes into the first period. Still looking for our first goal. Shots right now 2-1 in favor of the Prowlers. Foley dumps it in. Devaney chasing after it. Vanelli fanned on the pass. Schumacher with a good step. That keeps the pressure on for Port Huron. Finally, it's flipped out by Columbus. And Frank Schumacher all the way in his own end as the Dragons make a change. Foley with that A on his chest dumps it in. And Colgan stops it behind the cage. It's the Prowlers' turn to make a full 5-man change. Jay just kept that puck in off the intercept. But he gave it right back to Petrantonio. Here's Rogers. Reversing this way to King. Lane King's pass only found Gino Mini. Prowlers back in. Freeborn recovers it on the near side. Taken off his stick. Storjahan up to Petrantonio jumping up in the play. Here's Jacob Kelly. 2 hat tricks against the Prowlers this season for Jacob Kelly. Again, one of the best young forwards in this league. As Kelly tied for second in the FPHL with 26 goals. Rogers back out. Chartrand right back in. Merritt cutting to the net. Goes for the wraparound and Colgan got the pad there. Frescura blocked Rogers' attempt out of the zone. Rogers just sent it right in front of his own net. Kicked off of Austin Doe. That puck took a hop off the boards. It's a clear-cut 3-on-2 for the Dragons. Here's Heitzner with a shot, save by Hofflin. And now Kyle Heitzner puts it back on net. Hofflin with the glove, scoops it up. As Kyle Heitzner takes a hit from Dustin Henning in the corner. Heitzner signed on Wednesday. Has an interesting pro career so far since leaving the Bradford Bulls of the GMHL. Played 7 games in Watertown last year with 9 points. That one wristed wide. Comes out in front, Jemef tied up by a couple of Prowlers. Now it's backhanded on net. And Jemef found it. That was blocked on the way through. We'll get you more about Heitzner when we get a chance. As the bell winds and fires, that one blocked by Chartrand. A big difference that I saw from the Prowlers, and I know Joe Noonan talked about it, is the blocked shots in Saturday's game as Hoffman covers up after what really wasn't the Prowlers' best effort on Thursday. The blocked shots was a big difference for Port Huron in Saturday's game. But more on Heitzner. He's played senior hockey up in Canada for the Creemore Coyotes over the past 2 seasons, but he's also been in the FPHL and the SPHL. He's in the SPHL for a handful of games last year. He did play 1 game with Delaware this season in the FPHL, so Kyle Heitzner, a guy who's been all around in plenty of different leagues since beginning his pro career a year ago. Here's Wickline. Curls away from Devaney. Vanelli back in his own end, up to Krupp. Jay Krupp gets the pass back, gets into the zone, goes to the backhand, put it out in front, and they score! Thomas Aldworth right down Main Street, had a wide open net to tap that one into, and the River Dragons take a 1-0 lead, 9:54 to go in the first period. Jay Krupp made that one happen with a good rush. And Aldworth on the receiving end of that pass. He's able to get his stick down through a few Prowlers who were back. Thomas Aldworth picks up his 11th goal of the season. 11 goals, 7 assists now for Aldworth. A true goal scorer for the Columbus River Dragons. Prowlers find themselves behind, as they have so often against Columbus, as Wickline looks for more. Over to Rogers. Wrist shot stopped by Hoffman. He juggles it and hangs on for a whistle. We'll take a timeout, and the Prowlers get a chance to breathe after giving up the game's first goal just moments ago. 9:37 to go in the opening period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
9:37 to go in the opening period here in Columbus, and the Prowlers trail the River Dragons by a score of 1-0. It was Thomas Aldworth's 11th of the season just moments ago, and the assist to Jay Krupp and Paul Frageau. River Dragons have the last 5 shots on goal, including that tally from Aldworth and the shot from Cody Rogers that sent us to the TV timeout. So for Frageau, a guy who hasn't had too much going on the score sheet so far this season, 1 assist in his last 10 games. He was hot to start the year in the points department, his false start on the faceoff, but gone a little bit cold the last few games. Picks up a helper on the Aldworth goal. Wickline and Graham getting set for the faceoff. And now we're all set to go. It's 1 to the boards. Minnie took it from Aldworth, using that long reach. Prowlers able to get it out, but Rogers takes it in his own end. Petrantonio working up ice. Chips it in, gets it himself. Here's Petrantonio all the way across. The one-timer misfired there. I think that was Wickline streaking down the backside. Here's Rogers back in. He just gives a cross-corner dump. Austin Federley chases after it. Put on net, kicked away by Hofflin through some traffic. Freeborn left it behind. Johnson almost gave it right away to Aldworth in the middle of the ice. Luckily for Alex Johnson, Aldworth unable to control that rolling puck. I think it might have surprised him more than anything. As Jay looks to move his team up ice, here's Freeborn into the zone. Freeborn all the way over Jay, a quick shot, stopped by Colgan. That pass may have been more for Matt Graham than Dalton Jay. Got over to him a little bit slowly, but he did get a good shot off, and Colgan with the answer. As that one deflects off of Wickline and in. Schumacher quickly up to Chartrand. And LaBelle plays it back to his defenseman in Vanelli. 8:10 to go, opening period. So a 1-0 River Dragons lead. Dragons into the zone. The drop pass to Storjahan, though. That one didn't connect as he got his signals crossed with Kelly. Here's Lane King up towards Storjahan. Deflects over his stick. And Hofflin plays it near side to Schumacher. Zach Friscura couldn't get it up the boards. It comes right back to Schumacher. Friscura again. Sends it out. Frageau trying to push it to Storjahan. Couldn't get it in. Friscura tips it past the River Dragon. Goes and gets it himself and takes a big hit from Frageau. Frageau pleading his case, and Zach Friscura down behind the River Dragons net right now. He went face first into those boards. Bridget Smith, the Prowlers trainer, coming out to attend to Zach Friscura, who's still down in a heap as Frageau heads to the penalty box. Boarding the call against Frageau, and of course before this Prowlers power play can begin, the concern is for Friscura, who is being helped to his feet by Bridget Smith and Dan Chartrand, and no weight on that left leg for Friscura. Prowlers without a 10th forward tonight, so some line juggling may be necessary from Matt Graham. Instead of going to the bench, they'll head straight off the ice towards the River Dragons side, although the locker rooms do connect. There's a hallway connecting the locker rooms under there and the medical room here, so I'm sure that's where Zach Friscura is headed. The Prowlers get a power play, third in the league right now at 20.6% on the man advantage, while the River Dragons PK is second at 86.2%. It's pushed back to Federley at the point. Gives it to Vartiainen, back to Austin Federley. Schumacher, down low Foley, tried to force it in front, that hit a stick, but Jamef's clear off of Vartiainen. Larry up top, looking down low towards Federley out of his reach. Foley backs him up. Evan Foley up towards Federley. He's being harassed by Vanelli. Now Federley down low to Foley. Looking in front towards Devon, he comes right back to Evan Foley. Took a weird hop off the boards as it was rimmed around towards Schumacher. And finally the River Dragons able to clear 40 seconds into the Prowlers power play, and Port Huron begins to make a change. Alex Johnson fresh off the bench. Waits for the breakout to materialize. Now he finds Merritt up the left wing side. In the middle, Jay, all the way across to Freeborn. Jay battling there with King, able to get it deep towards Merritt. Petrantonio protecting the puck. Merritt in there. Now Merritt has it again, gives it to Graham down low. Graham just plays it to an area. Alex Johnson able to get there first. Here's Freeborn, poked off his stick. It's a 2-on-0 for Columbus. King into the zone, plays it across, and that one missed just wide. Alex Johnson got back to defend, and now it's the Prowlers with a break. Merritt to Graham, couldn't feed it right back to Sam Merritt. That one was cut off. Prowlers set up, 17 seconds to go on the power play as that shot stopped by Colgan. Dragons able to wrist it down. That should take care of the final 10 seconds of this Prowlers man advantage. 0 for 1 with a shot on the first power play for the Port Huron Prowlers. Foley tried to tip it in. Aldworth plays it back. Here's Wickline into the zone. Puck taken from him. Devaney up the boards. Overskated the puck. That pass to Vartiainen. Couldn't find him, so icing the call against the Prowlers. 5:08 to go, first period. As the Prowlers once again get one shot on that power play and do not score. So they still trail 1-0. Foley and Wickline on the faceoff. It's one back towards Aldworth. A good stick from Vartiainen gets that puck out to center. Here's Aldworth again. Aldworth harassed by Vartiainen. Uses the net to get some time and space. He drops it off to LaBelle. Josh LaBelle. His pass deflected away by Foley. Puck stayed in the field of play, so here comes Aldworth. Thomas Aldworth couldn't get around the net as Minnie cut him off. Dragons back on the puck. Krupp sauces it to the point. LaBelle wristed it on. Steered aside by Hofflin. LaBelle again. Puts it on. Hofflin made the save. The rebound's there. Rescued by the Prowlers. LaBelle tries again. Couldn't get that try on the net. Minnie kicks it up to his stick. Gives it over to Dustin Henning. Henning, power move to the backhand, is saved by Colgan, and he'll hang on. A little bit of offensive prowess there from the captain, Dustin Henning, but Brendan Colgan hangs on for a whistle with 4:05 to go in the first period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, but Pandria saved by Hofflin. The rebound, another one!
Every hit.
Good hip check!
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh boy!
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hofflin, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
.405 to go, opening period here in Columbus, and the Prowlers trailing the River Dragons by a score of 1-0. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Shots on goal late in this opening period. Right now, favor the River Dragons 8-4. And Dustin Henning taking that last shot, his team changing, took it himself all the way down, but still unable to snap his lengthy goal drought. 29 games since Henning's only goal of the year, and 8 games since his last point, although, of course, Dustin Henning, a guy who makes most of his contributions off the score sheet with block shots and stick checks in the defensive zone. Here's Liam Freeborn, tried to feed it in front towards Jay. Storjahan just cut it off. Puck still bouncing around down there. Now Kelly sends it out to center. Freeborn right back in, saucing it towards Graham. Too far ahead of him. Here's Frejot. Played it up the boards. King couldn't get it, so Prowlers put it back in. Frejot again. Off those same boards, Federley stepped in front of his man. Puck got through both of them. And now here's Schumacher. Over to Federley. Makes the short pass to Graham. His long pass to Freeborn was out of his reach. Here's Heitzner back in. Shemeff couldn't kick it up to his stick. Schumacher to Freeborn. 2-on-2 rush as the Prowlers enter the zone. Freeborn over to Jay. Just rose it high and wide. Johnson over to Minnie. Freeborn couldn't deflect it in. Here's Alex Johnson with his team changing. Johnson steps around one man, outside shot, missed wide. Foley played it off of that strange hop off the door. And Chartrand just turned it on net. Colgan all ready for it. Merritt's shot hit Foley on the way through. There's Johnson. Down low towards Merritt. Foley to Chartrand. Colgan to save the rebound. Merritt following it up. And Colgan got that one too. Good pressure from the Prowlers on this shift as the River Dragons are offsides entering the zone with 2:24 to go in the first period. And that was their best chance of the game as Sam Merritt was flying in. It looks like Brendan Colgan just got the better of him on that rebound try. Wickline and Graham on the faceoff as Minnie gives it to Johnson. Goes out towards Petrantonio in his own end, looking for a Wickline at the Prowlers' blue line. But icing called against the Dragons, so we'll go back towards Brendan Colgan. Graham and Wickline again on the face-off, as the face-off is to Colgan's left. False start on the face-off as Krupp and Aldworth were trying to get a jump on the near side. Played behind the net, Vartiainen looking for it. Instead it comes to Aldworth. Glove down at center by Wickline, surrounded by Prowlers. Devaney trying to take it off his stick. Minnie able to dump it at least towards center. Now Graham with the steal. Turn back the other way. Matt Graham again, looking for Vartiainen. Prowlers with some different line combinations, with Zach Frescura getting looked at in the medical room. We have not seen him return to the Prowlers bench, and of course Port Huron without the 10th forward tonight. Henning. And his pass taken away by Petrantonio. And Dustin Henning comes back to knock it off of Petrantonio's stick. Josh Petrantonio still chugging for the River Dragons. Just cycles it deep. Krupp takes it on the far side. Minute 15 to go in the opening period. Schumacher flattens his man against the boards. Now Schumacher plays it this side. Here's Henning. Up to Vartiainen. Off the boards. Prowlers just couldn't get it out though. Schumacher with some time and space with the River Dragons changing as we're under a minute to go in this period. Here comes Frank Schumacher with speed. Schumacher off the boards around Underwood. One hands it to the front of the net. And I think Foley got a touch on it, but Colgan has it in the glove. 43.4 seconds to go in the first period. Prowlers getting some good opportunities here as they have the game's last 4 shots. And the River Dragons look like they've iced the puck again, and they have. So the faceoff will come right back down as the home run play just wasn't there for Josh LaBelle, who flipped that one down the ice. I think he was searching for Kelly. The Prowlers had that one well covered. We'll switch faceoff dots for this one. Here's Freeborn. Put up against the wall. Now Jay in the slot had his shot blocked. As Foley got it there. Jay had some space, but it was closed down quickly. Poked away from LaBelle by Federley. Prowlers trying to turn it into a counterattack. Freeborn to Federley, shoots. Stopped by Colgan with the stick. 8 seconds to go in the period. Dragons just get it out to center. And now Federley with 3 winds and fires it in. And that's going to do it for the opening period here at the Columbus Civic Center. It's the Dragons 1 and the Prowlers nothing. Shots on goal in that opening period. 8 for Columbus, 7 for Port Huron. And the Prowlers power play 0 for 1 in the period. The only goal so far tonight, Thomas Aldworth from Jay Krupp and Paul Frageau. just past the halfway point of that opening period, and that is where we stand. So the Prowlers got some pressure going late in the frame, but unfortunately for them, unable to capitalize and get themselves on the board. So they head to the locker room trailing through 20 minutes of play. Welcome, new year, new gear. Get your updated look at the Port Huron Prowlers team store located on the west end of McMorran Arena. The store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, koozies, socks, and more. Authentic and youth jerseys are also available while supplies last. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. 1-0 Dragons, first intermission underway here from Columbus. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. 1-0 River Dragons as we're getting set for the second period of action coming up in just about 10 minutes. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And before we get into that opening period, let's take a look around the FPHL. Well, it's battle between first and second in the Continental Division here, and it's battle between first and second in the Empire Division in Binghamton. And first place with a 1-0 lead on second place as the Hat Tricks lead the Black Bears as they play in the second period. The Motor City Rockers have a 2-1 lead on the Watertown Wolves through one period of play. That one in Fraser. The Elmira Mammoth up 2-0 on the Delaware Thunder as they approach the end of the first period. Thunder, though, outshooting Elmira 20-7, but it is the Mammoth with the 2-0 lead through one period of play. Finally, in Carolina, it's the Mississippi Seawolves with a 1-0 lead on the Thunderbirds as they play late in the first period. And of course here, 1-0 River Dragons through one period of play. Well, both teams had their pushes, both teams had their chances in that opening period. And Thomas Aldworth, the only one able to pot a goal as Jay Krupp came in, fed it to the slot, and Aldworth, the only one able to find that puck. No chance for Wyatt Hofflin on that play as the River Dragons took a 1-0 lead, but luckily for the Prowlers, it didn't get too far out of hand. You know this River Dragons team can score goals in bunches, and the Prowlers were able to reset. The goal did come moments before a TV timeout, so I'm sure that helped Matt Graham settle down his club just a little bit. And the Prowlers seemed to carry the play, especially in the last few minutes of that period. Prowlers getting some good chances as Evan Foley, Dan Chartrand, Sam Merritt, all getting good opportunities. The Prowlers with 5 of the last 6 shots of that opening period. But the Dragons do hold the shots advantage right now, 8-7 through the first 20 minutes of play. The only penalty to tell you about in that first period, Paul Frageau, 2 minutes for boarding. Dragons able to kill that one off, although for the Prowlers, the concern is for Zach Fresquera, who was down, helped off the ice, putting no weight on his left leg. So we'll see if he's able to come out for this second period. We didn't see him at all for the end of that first frame. We'll see if he's able to come out. Of course, he has been out with an injury to start this season, and to see him go right back down in just his third game would not be great for the Prowlers. Of course, he's a guy who put up 27 points last year as a rookie in 37 games, and Prowlers right now, they need plenty of bodies with still plenty of guys out. Brian Parsons and Adam Hainzel on the defensive side. Sam Gagnon not traveling with the team for this one. And then between the pipes, Joe Noonan and Chris Paulin are not here as well for the Port Huron Prowlers. And it's been a theme throughout this season. Of course, I can't forget to mention Vinny DeCumbus, who's been out now over almost 2 months after going down in Carolina back on December 2nd. And it's been a bit of a theme for the Prowlers over these past few weeks, not being able to dress the full 18 or 16 skater lineup that you typically see in this league with 10 forwards, 6 defensemen. Right now, the Prowlers started this game with 9 forwards and 5 defensemen, with Austin Federley dropping back to defense for tonight's game. And right now they are down to 8 forwards and 5 defensemen. They have played a game with 4 defensemen earlier this season. And we'll see what Matt Graham decides to do, whether he leaves Federley on the back end to continue rotating with the defense, or he brings him up, puts him in Frescura's spot on Sam Merritt's line, a spot that Federley has been seen many times this season. We will take a break, and we will have the second period for you coming up in just about 5.5 minutes from the Columbus Civic Center. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Prowlers have hit the ice. The Columbus River Dragons getting ready to do the same for second period action from the Columbus Civic Center. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel as the Prowlers trail the River Dragons 1-0 as we get start for the second period of action. When trailing after one period of play this season, the Prowlers 8-9, 8-9-0, while the Dragons are 17-1-0 when leading after one period of play. But it's just a one-goal lead for Columbus. Plenty of time for the Prowlers to come back. They'll just need to pot one past Brendan Colgan, who made 7 saves in that opening period. He's down on our right. Wyatt Hofflin, who also made 7 saves in that opening period, down on our left. Evan Foley sliding in Zach Frescura's right wing spot on this Sam Merritt line to start the period. So still no sign of Frescura, and some extra duty for the Prowlers' newest alternate captain. Petrantonio dumps it in, and Schumacher rims it around looking for Chartrand. Send right back in, Schumacher gloves it down. Here's Foley with some space. Plays it off the board, Chartrand couldn't get it back on net. Aldworth reverses to the far side boards. Federley, good step on Wick line. Puck bouncing around down low. Foley turns in the corner looking for Merritt. That one knocked away. Alex Johnson up towards Merritt. He deflects it in, and the Prowlers get their first line change of the period going. It's the Graham line fully together. Here's a quick shot and a save by Hofflin on Thomas Aldworth, sneaking down the left wing side, searching for his second goal of the game. 56 seconds into the second period. And it's a defensive zone draw for the Port Huron. Again, that Graham line all together. Matt Graham centering Dalton Jay and Liam Freeborn, as it's been so often this season since Freeborn joined the team. That was back in November when the Prowlers were here in Columbus when Freeborn made his FPHL debut. Puck just comes out to center. Freeborn able to collect it. Couldn't sauce it over to a teammate, however. Graham all the way over to Jay. Prowlers stay on sides as Jay put it on net. Colgan with an easy save. Kelly feeds it across to LaBelle, jumping into the play. Looking for Storjahan. He has him. Storjahan back to King and whistled that one wide. Graham just able to get it out of danger as Jacob Kelly is in his own end. LaBelle deflects it in. Hofflin plays it away. Storjahan able to knock it down. Took a hit from Henning. Now Jay off the boards and out. 2 minutes into period 2. As Heitzner finds Storjahan, but Austin Doe just about a skate length off sides. And we will have a face-off just outside the Prowlers' end. 17:54 to go in the second period. Now it's the Foley line, fully together. And Foley at center. Well, he loses the face-off. Frejo. Henning jumped that pass. Now Henning again. Able just to keep it deep. Jamef pulls it out. Turned it over to Vartiainen. Devaney couldn't feed it down low towards Vartiainen. Doe tries to start the breakout. It's dumped towards Prowler ice. Knocked down by Henning. Devaney sends it in. Colgan there with it. Stops it, gives it to Vanelli. Fanned on a pass. Vanelli on the second chance opportunity, able to fight through pressure. Dragons get it out. Here comes Doe into the Prowler zone. Austin Doe in front, they score! Another pass below the goal line to a one-timer in the slot. And the Dragons have a 2-0 lead, 17:05 to go in the second period. This time it's Alexander Jamef on the receiving end of the pass. Very similar to the first goal for Columbus. And it's Alexander Jamef on the receiving end of that pass. He got around his man and just one times that one home. Once again, no chance for Wyatt Hofflin. It's dumped in by the Prowlers, who are still searching for their first goal of the game. Here comes Columbus, though. Nice move. It's dropped back. And good save there by Hofflin doing the splits, as the Dragons were bearing down in numbers. Johnson couldn't get it out. Chartrain gets it as far as the lines, kept in. Aldworth took a body from Johnson. A battle for the puck back there. Aldworth and Johnson battling behind the play. Meanwhile, the pass is out of Jay's reach, and icing is called, and now Aldworth and Johnson having a fit at center, and Aldworth picked up Johnson's stick and just tossed it. That gathers a crowd. Gino Mini has Jay Krupp locked up right now, up on the boards. See if any penalties, that's Jay, excuse me, wrapped up with Krupp. Alex Johnson has his twig back, and he steps onto the Prowlers bench, and they're going to send Aldworth to the box, likely because he picked up Johnson's stick and tossed it. You can't do that. Aldworth pleading his case, but you can't toss an opposing player's stick to the boards. And the Prowlers power play gets its second opportunity of the night, much to the chagrin of this Columbus fan base. 0 for 1 are the Prowlers on the power play tonight. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed to Thomas Aldworth. As the puck's locked up in some skates, Vartiainen able to dig it out, but he gave it right up, and the Dragons clear. Schumacher gives to Federley. Austin Federley moving up ice, leaves it for Schumacher. Now Devaney to Federley in the middle. Takes the shot, saved by Colgan. The rebound kicked all the way back out to Federley. Comes over to Vartiainen. Larry head up, looking for a play. Goes down low to Foley. Back to Vartiainen on the boards. This pass partially broken up by Kelly. Now here's Jacob Kelly with a step. Kelly has Storjahan with him. Kelly pulls up, gives to Storjahan, and a sliding save by Wyatt Hofflin to stop a shorthanded rush. Wyatt Hofflin doing his part here on the Prowler power play to make sure this score stays at 2-0. Prowlers switch up the power play unit. Graham wins the faceoff to the boards. Johnson over to Freeborn. Worked up the near side, Graham. His pass was behind Merritt, and Vanelli just slaps it all the way down. Past the midway point of this Prowlers power play, we approach 15 minutes to go in the second period. Johnson to Merritt. Couldn't dance through, but the Prowlers able to recover the puck. Graham wrists it on. Blocker save by Colgan. Goes out of play. Johnson looks like he may have taken a stick up high, just sliding over towards the Prowlers bench. He lost his stick in the process. We will take a timeout with 42 seconds to go in the Prowlers power play. 14:50 to go in the second period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here in Columbus, 14:50 to go, second period. Prowlers still with 42 seconds to go on the power plays. They have an offensive zone face-off. And it's Matt Graham's unit out there. He slides in to take it. I'll go against Alexander Jameff, who scored the most recent River Dragons goal, his 9th of the year. Just have to wait a few more moments for the media timeout to officially be over. Now we can start play. Jay scoops up the bouncing puck. Gives it to Freeborn. Freeborn up top, Johnson. Over to Jay. Tried to feed it in front. That was blocked. Graham recovers behind that. In front, Merritt was stoned on the doorstep by Colgan. Jay all the way across to Freeborn. Back to Johnson, wrist shot, gloved and held by Brendan Colgan. 18 seconds left on the Prowlers power play, 14:26 to go in period number 2 as the River Dragon faithful cheer Brendan Colgan. Much better game for him tonight than it has been in his past few starts. Jay and Petrantonio getting involved with some slashing on the near side boards. Freeborn takes the puck off the faceoff, gives over to Johnson. Looking for Graham down low, is out of his reach. Final 9 seconds ticking off the Prowlers power plays. Graham took a stick up high, accidental. Prowlers can go right back to the man advantage. Matt Graham still down on the ice. It's going to be Cody Rogers. You can see immediately after the fact Cody Rogers didn't mean to do that. There's 1 second left on the penalty to Aldworth. Graham with a towel on his face. And we'll see if it's going to be 2 or 4. And it looks like they're signaling for 4 minutes. A 4-minute double minor for high sticking against Cody Rogers sends the Prowlers power play right back out. They do have to be careful though to make sure that they win this faceoff. That will be taxed to Evan Foley with Thomas Aldworth stepping out of the box in 1 second. Frank Schumacher is lined up in the neutral zone just to make sure there's no funny business. Wickline and Foley on the faceoff. And Devaney swoops in to intercept. Sent over to Schumacher down low. Foley just couldn't direct it on net. Poked past Federley. Schumacher comes all the way back to grab that puck ahead of Aldworth. Rims it around, but the Dragons right there. It's Petrantonio getting it deep. So 4-minute double minor for high sticking to Cody Rogers. Prowlers with an opportunity to get back in this game. And Schumacher rims it around towards Foley. Vartiainen to Federley at the point. Over to Schumacher. Looking for Devaney in the slot. Just got through him. Now Federley wrists it on. Glove by Colgan. And then sent all the way down. Colgan just able to reach up and get the glove on that shot. Foley deflects it in. Colgan gives it up to LaBelle. Wrists it off the far side boards and down as the next unit out there for the Prowlers on this power play. 2:50 to go on the man advantage. Alex Johnson gets into the zone. Johnson to the slot. Graham tried to one-touch it back to Jay. They weren't on the same page. Here's Jay again. Tried to drop it off. Right to Kelly, who gets it deep. 30 seconds left in the first minor to Rogers. And the Prowlers will have 2 more minutes of power play time, of course. Jay into the zone. Off the boards. And now a breakaway opportunity for Kelly. Here's Jacob Kelly into the zone. He shoots and just lifted it high as Hoffman came out for the poke check. Dragons still controlling the puck, but it's knocked down by Freeborn. Freeborn trying to start a rush. Prowlers had numbers, but Freeborn just couldn't catch up to the puck. Now it's a 3-on-1 for the Dragons. Kelly with Storjahan LaBelle. Here's Storjahan back to Kelly, and they score. Up and down action, and it ends up being a shorthanded goal for the River Dragons to make it 3-0 with 11:58 to go in the second. Prowlers get caught up ice, and they pay the prices. Jacob Kelly, who came into this game tied for second in the FPHL in goals, has now scored his 27th of the season. Or 26th, excuse me, of the season. Foley, up top Federley, down to Vartiainen. Vartiainen up the boards, across to Schumacher. Wrists it on, goes off the side of the cage. Frejot couldn't clear it. Foley and Devaney in there digging for that puck. King got it as far as Federley at the line. Vartiainen unleashes the one-timer. Couldn't find the cage. Schumacher back on. That one deflected wide. Chip past Vartiainen. Schumacher able to keep it in the zone. It's a mini 3-on-2. Foley. Now Schumacher sliding in. Couldn't get a piece of that puck. And the Dragons clear it. And another swinging stick, another high sticking penalty coming up against Columbus as King got Federley up high. So it'll be a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers for 55 seconds. So the loose sticks here from Columbus causing some trouble for the Dragons. However, they do have a shorthanded goal here. So the Prowlers will really need to dig deep on this power play, try and get themselves back in this game. It's the Graham unit set to start it. And Matt Graham will take the face-off against Austin Doe, his former teammate. 5-on-3 for Port Huron, and Doe able to win it forward and send it to Prowler ice. They actually give King 2 minutes for slashing. I thought the stick came up high on Federley. It might have been high sticking, but officially it's Lane King 2 minutes for slashing. As Hofflin protects the puck and now gives it to Alex Johnson. 29 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Johnson forced back by Doe. Freeborn up to Graham, couldn't split the D. Now Merritt swoops in to take the loose puck. Sam Merritt gives it to Graham. Up high Johnson, cross to Freeborn, walks in, shoots, and a save by Colgan. He'll hang on with the glove. 6 seconds left on the 5-on-3, minute 12 to go on the penalty to King. And this River Dragons penalty kill is playing strong tonight. As the Prowlers switch up the units. It's Foley up on the face-off. But it's one back by Columbus. They clear, Schumacher able to cut it off. Federley back into the zone as it's now 5-on-4. Federley across to Schumacher, wrists it on, stop, rebound all the way across, and Vartiainen just missed a wide open net. Great pass from Devaney right to Vartiainen, he just missed. That one deflected wide. Vartiainen chasing after that puck. Federley able to take it up ice. Federley dumps it in, goes after it himself. Takes Frejot into the wall. Petrantonio walks around his own net, trying to make a pass up. Schumacher there on the puck, Petrantonio, as he was falling down with a clearing attempt. Here's Foley back into the zone. Sends it around. Devaney down deep. Frageau able to take it, cleared it right off of Alex Johnson. Final seconds ticking off. The penalty to Lane King. And the long PK from the Dragons successful. And Columbus even gets a goal out of it. After 3 penalties in a row for the River Dragons, including a lengthy 5-on-3 for the Prowlers. Port Huron gets nothing out of it. Columbus actually gets a goal. Johnson's shot sticks to Colgan and he'll hang on. 8:40 to go in the second period. Prowlers still trailing the River Dragons 3-0. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
3-0 River Dragons with 8:40 to go in this second period, as the Prowlers only get 3 shots combined on the Rogers 4-minute double minor for high sticking and the Lane King slashing penalty that did overlap for a bit of a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers. Only 3 shots for Port Huron. Brendan Colgan stopped them all. And of course, Jacob Kelly with a shorthanded goal to add a little bit more salt in the wound. Prowlers up on shots in this period, 7-5. And Port Huron also up for the game, 14-13. But it's the River Dragons up on the scoreboard where it matters, 3-0. Both teams are ready for this face-off. The referees are ready. As this looks like just an extra conversation with Jerome Bouchard, the River Dragons' 4th-year head coach. And now we are set to go. Storjahan and Merritt lining up for the face-off. Liam Freeborn taking Zach Frescura's spot on this line for this shift. Comes out to center, King. Moving up ice, 3-on-2 for the Dragons. Kelly all the way across looking for Vanelli. One of the Prowlers back got a stick on that pass, so it didn't drop cleanly for Vanelli. Minnie pokes it away from Kelly. Gets past one Dragon. Prowlers have numbers. Merritt looking to feed it to the slot. Couldn't find a teammate. And then Minnie temporarily cut off a pass here. Storjahan dancing his way in. Prowlers just able to keep Storjahan from getting a shot off. Dumped right back in. Here's Dustin Henning settling things down. Both teams making changes as it's tipped ahead towards Vartiainen. Larry couldn't handle that puck in the corner. Underwood sends it around. Here's Jemeff. Now Jemeff pulls up, put it down in front. Couldn't find Heitzner with that pass. Lifted out towards Graham. Knocked away from him. Doe back in. Austin Doe turning the corner. Sent it all the way across. Couldn't be directed on net. Here's LaBelle, wrist shot. Gloved and held by Hofflin. 7:07 to go in this second period, and Columbus getting some opportunities after killing those penalties. Prowlers on their heels a little bit. Shots now tied up at 13 apiece. Although Prowlers did have a good opportunity going down the ice, but Sam Merritt couldn't find either of his 2 line mates that were streaking down, just kind of split them with the pass. Here's Hofflin, leaving it for Vartiainen. Schumacher rims it around to the far side. Winding and firing was Underwood from the point. And Hofflin with a good glove save. He'll hang on with 6:48 to go in this middle period. Dragons still with that 3-0 lead, as Brendan Colgan has looked much more like himself tonight for Columbus than he has in his past few games. Each of his past 3 starts, losses to the Carolina Thunderbirds. Trying to break that 3-game losing skid. Devaney dumped it towards Petrantonio. Puck comes out to center. Foley able to steal it back for the Prowlers. Chartrand trying to dump it in. Glove down by Johnson at center. Has to wait for Chartrand to touch up. Gives to Devaney. Couldn't feed it on for Foley. Columbus able to get it out all the way down to Prowler ice. Minnie. D to Johnson. Puck just does come out. Here's Devaney with Foley. Devaney pulls up, waits for help. Passed it right behind Gino Minnie. Minnie still able to get it deep. 6 minutes to go in this second period. Comes off the glass, back to Prowler ice. And icing called against Columbus with 5:50 to go in the middle frame. Play will come all the way back down towards Brendan Colgan's net. He's been perfect tonight. 14 saves on 14 shots. Sam Merritt centering Dalton Jay and Liam Freeborn out there for the Prowlers. Frank Schumacher lined up close on the face-off circle. One back to Jay. His shot blocked. Henning just gets it deep. Petrantonio around towards Wickline. Cody Wickline able to poke it out. It's a race, and that shot shouldered away by Hofflin. That was Aldworth coming down the right wing side. Henning went over to cut him off. Schumacher starts a rush the other way. Couldn't dump it in, though, as Petrantonio able to push it back to center. This time, Dalton Jay able to loft it in before he takes a big hit. Krupp on the near side. Feeds it up, 2-on-2 rush the other way. Dropped off to Storjahan. Alex Storjahan with a quick shot. Save by Hofflin. Jay couldn't find Merritt. Prowlers making a change. As Federley gets back in his own end. Under 5 minutes to play in this second period. Here's Liam Freeborn. Across to Graham. Down low looking for Devaney. Just couldn't connect. Seems like a case of the can't connect for the Prowlers in the offensive end. Plenty of passes just going awry. As Storjahan feeds it up to Kelly. Kelly back over looking for Storjahan. He plays it off the boards. Storjahan had it taken away. Johnson flips it out. And Alex Johnson is taken down behind the play by King. Play continues as here's Kelly into the zone. Kelly looking for a toe drag, and Alex Johnson had him all the way. Fregeau dumps it in. Dragons making a full line change, under 4 minutes to play in this second period. Doe moves up ice. Doe to Jamef. His shot stopped by Hofflin. And it sticks to him for a whistle. 3:46 to go in this second period. And the Prowlers in a 3-0 hole in Columbus. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Away the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hofflin. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cutback, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hofflin, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
3:46 to go, second period. And the Columbus River Dragons coming on with some pressure. They have the last 5 shots in this game since getting back to even strength, killing off a 5-on-3, then a 5-on-4. And that included a 4-minute double minor. But the River Dragons penalty kill stood strong, even picked up a shorthanded goal from Jacob Kelly, and that's what made it 3-0. We'll try this face-off again as Sam Merritt looks like he'll be kicked out of it. No, maybe not. They pointed in his direction. So it's one back to Doe. His shot towards the net was blocked on the way through. Comes right back to Doe, all the way across. And Heitzner snapped his stick on the shot. Doe again, able to get to Jameff. Down low, good save by Hofflin. The rebound popped into the slot. Henning kicks it over to the boards. Merritt up ice, looking for Chartrand, just a bit in front of him, so he has to go and chase. Chartrand picks up the puck behind the net, battling with Underwood. Jameff had it taken off his stick by Foley. Merritt sidesteps a big hit from LaBelle. Comes out, and a sharp angle try missed the net. Minnie able to keep it in. And Merritt did take a hit that time from LaBelle. Sam Merritt slow to get up. And he'll skate slowly over towards the Prowlers bench. Puck's still in the zone, but whistles blow. 2:37 to go in the second period. And now concern for another Prowler. Looks like Frank Schumacher is heading to the penalty box, so the River Dragons will get a power play. It's a high sticking penalty coming to Frank Schumacher, and the 8th ranked power play in the FPHL at 15% gets its first opportunity of the night against the 9th ranked penalty kill for the Prowlers at 79%. Graham and Wickline on the face-off to start it. Here's Wickline on the far side boards. Cody Wickline drops it off, comes over to Frejot on the near side. Works it down low to Aldworth. Drop pass to Vanelli. Vanelli to Aldworth. Return feed to Aldworth got through him. He's able to get to Vanelli at the point though. Vanelli winds and fires, saved by Hofflin. Federley couldn't clear the rebound out. Now Graham looking to start a rush. Sauces it towards Jay. And they'll both go off for a change. Under 2 to play in this second period. Dragons enter the zone. Sent back to the point to Frejot. Vanelli, the one-timer, stopped by Hofflin. The rebound cleared out. And Foley able to help it all the way down. Henning the first one on that rebound try. 90 seconds to go in this second period. Henning started the clear and Foley able to complete it. So that gives Frejot up to, now it's Kelly into the zone. Kelly towards the slot, couldn't find Underwood. Kelly again. Jacob Kelly. Down the boards to Storjahan, all the way across. His seam pass cut off by Foley, who clears it all the way down. We've hit the final minute of play in this second period. As Storjahan moves up with speed. Alex Storjahan into the zone. Storjahan below the goal line. Looking, feed it out in front now. Underwood in front, and good save by Hofflin. Storjahan feeds it out high. LaBelle walks in and fires. And a glove save by Hofflin. He'll hang on. As we're back to 5-on-5 with 35.5 seconds to go in this second period. And good news for the Prowlers as Sam Merritt back out there. He took that hard hit from LaBelle and slowly made his way to the bench, but he is back on the ice and get set to take this face-off. It'll be Merritt, Foley, and Jay, the forward line for the Prowlers. As it comes to Hofflin, he plays it up the boards. Heitzner keeps it in. Now Johnson up to Jay. Here's Foley, dumps it in. Colgan out of his net to play it with 20. Merritt takes it in the far side corner. His cycle cut off by Petrantonio. Final 10 seconds in the period. Jamef up to Doe. 3 seconds to go. Doe has to get it on net. He's passed to the slot. Heitzner had his stick lifted by Jay, and that's going to do it for period number 2 here from the Columbus Civic Center. And it's the River Dragons 3, the Prowlers nothing. Shots on goal in that period, 15 for Columbus and 7 for the Port Huron Prowlers, as the Dragons ended up with the final 10 shots of that second period. Didn't score a goal on any of those. No, they scored twice, though, on their first 5 attempts at the net, or first 5 shots on goal of the frame. They lead in the shots department 23-14 through 40 minutes of play. And the Prowlers have plenty of work to do, as they have yet to solve Brendan Colgan, and still really need 3 points here tonight with the Carolina Thunderbirds breathing down their neck. Well, secure your seats to the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Binghamton Black Bears on Friday, February 10th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. 3-0 Dragons as we hit the second intermission in Columbus. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Will Wiggleman back with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's a 3-0 River Dragons lead over the Port Huron Prowlers as we get set for the third period of action. Before we get into that second period, let's take another look around the FPHL. Every team in action tonight. And we start in Binghamton, where the Black Bears have made a furious comeback on the Danbury hat tricks. And they now have a 5-2 lead. They've scored 3 straight goals. That one in the third period, as Binghamton looking to inch closer to taking the top spot in the Empire Division away from Danbury. In Motor City, the Rockers and the Watertown Wolves played a scoreless second period, so it's still 2-1 Motor City as they get set for the third period there. The Delaware Thunder got one back in the middle frame in Elmira. It's 2-1 in favor of the Mammoth, but the shots on goal in that one, 33-17, favoring Delaware. Finally, the Carolina Thunderbirds have a 2-1 lead on the Mississippi Seawolves as they play in the final minutes of the second period, and that one of great interest to the Port Huron Prowlers, because if Carolina is able to defeat Mississippi in regulation and the Prowlers lose this game in regulation, then the Thunderbirds will jump ahead of Port Huron in the Continental Division standings. But Prowlers do have an opportunity to make sure they can keep themselves up there, but it will take a lot of work in this third period as they trail the River Dragons 3-0. Alexander Jemef with a goal under 3 minutes into the second period, very similar to Thomas Aldworth's first period goal, driving the crease and taking a pass from below the goal line into the slot, a one-timer past Wyatt Hofflin from the middle of the ice. That made it 2-0 Columbus, and then the River Dragons got into penalty trouble. Thomas Aldworth, Cody Rogers, and Lane King all picking up penalties in close succession. Prowlers did have a brief 5-on-3 at one point, but couldn't capitalize, and unfortunately for Port Huron, it was actually Columbus that scored during the Prowlers' power plays, as Jacob Kelly picked up his team-high 26th of the season, a shorthanded marker, and that made it 3-0. It was all River Dragons towards the end of that period, as they took the last 10 shots on net of the frame, and they ended up with a 15-7 shots advantage in that second period, and they lead the Prowlers 23-14 in the shots category in this game, and of course 3-0 where it matters up on the big board. The Prowlers power play 0 for 4 officially right now, while the River Dragons 0 for 1 on the man advantage, but they do have that short-handed goal in their back pockets. Well, Prowlers have a bit of a hill to climb when they come out of the locker room in just a few minutes. Let's see if they can bear down and salvage at least a point out of tonight's contest. We'll be back with third period action right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. teams hitting the ice for the third period here in Columbus. Prowlers trail the River Dragons 3-0. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, getting set to take you through this final 20 minutes of regulation. And the River Dragons have the records on their side so far this season. They are 19-1 when leading after 2 periods of play. Meanwhile, the Prowlers, when trailing after 40 minutes, just 2-11-2 this season. Has been a relatively low-scoring game. Unfortunately for the Prowlers, low scoring has meant a 0 up on their side of the scoreboard. So they'll look for at least a goal in this third period. Running right now with 8 forwards and 5 defensemen. As Merritt and Wickline get set to take the opening faceoff for this third period at center ice. We're underway as puck comes over towards Schumacher, and Chartrand able to dump it towards River Dragon ice. Here's Gino Mini. Gave it away to Krupp. Jay Krupp to Wickline, back to Krupp. All the way to the point to Rogers, couldn't handle that pass, and the puck skitters out to center. Rogers has it again. His pass knocked down by Foley. Now Evan Foley holds up, gives to Schumacher. Had to dangle around his own man, Mini. He couldn't. River Dragons starting a counterattack. Wickline to the slot. Aldworth harassed by Matt Graham on a good back check. Comes out in front, and Aldworth just pushed it wide. Not sure if Hofflin got a piece of that. Rogers walks the line. Gives over to Petra Antonio. Played it down low, only found Mini. And Gino Mini able to get it to Chartrand. Chartrand gets the red line, gets it deep, and he gets off. As the Prowlers complete a line change, just over a minute into this third period. Petra Antonio with the puck now for Columbus. Gets through the neutral zone, into the Prowlers' offensive end, around the cage. He drops it off to King. Forced back out to center. Petra Antonio again. This time he passes it off. Kelly into the zone. He shoots, and it's juggled and held by Hofflin for a whistle. Minute 32 into period 3, and it's the Prowlers trailing the River Dragons 3-0. Storjahan won it forward from Graham, and here's Storjahan with the puck. Tried to send it out to Kelly in the slot. Graham knocked it away. Colgan leaves it for big Josh LaBelle. LaBelle up to Kelly. There's Kelly with a toe drag shot, steered away by Hofflin. Now Lane King. Kelly pulls it out of the pile. Up high, Underwood ripped it just wide. Kirk Underwood, another natural forward, playing defense tonight for the River Dragons, along with Josh Petra Antonio. Now Henning couldn't chop it forward. Here's Kelly into the zone, looking for LaBelle, heading towards the crease. Good stick lift from Henning. Hofflin behind the net. Leaves it off for his captain. Henning able to skate it out of the zone. Taken away by Vanelli at the red line. Devaney has it back for the Prowlers. Joe Devaney off the near side boards and sent right over the glass and out of play. Prowlers want a delay of game penalty. Jamef says it was tipped. And the referees are going to conference. And we'll see if a call is coming. It looks like there is a penalty coming to Alexander Jamef. Delay of game. And the Prowlers will go to the power play for the 5th time tonight. Looking to finally break through. Evan Foley's unit begins. Austin Doe, his opposite in the face-off circle. Puck tied up there, and Devaney able to work it to the point to Federley. Austin Federley curls back, gives to Schumacher. Down low, Foley in front, looking for Devaney. Vartiainen couldn't put it on. And the referee lost sight of it as Colgan got at least got the glove blocking that puck. Larry Vartiainen didn't get all of that puck on the back post. Either way, face-off coming again in the Dragons' end. Federley able to keep it in. Vartiainen sauces it back to Federley. They say it stayed in. So here's Foley. After Schumacher hit the post. And the Dragons able to clear. Colgan was down, leaning to his right. Frank Schumacher put it to the far side and just caught the iron. Vartiainen couldn't dump it in. Instead, it's turned back by Doe. He plays it on net and heads off for a change. Schumacher over to Federley. Minute 7 to go in the Prowlers power play as Larry Vartiainen gets into the zone. Larry to Foley, just pushed it wide. Johnson at the point. Down low to Vartiainen. Foley in front. Tried the return feed to Vartiainen, was cut off by Rogers. He plays it out. 4 minutes into period, 3:45 seconds left to go on the Prowlers' man advantage. Johnson gives it to Freeborn. Freeborn all the way across. Merritt first on that loose puck. Comes around to the far side, Dalton J there. His pass to Graham just out of his reach, and Graham tried to reach out and get it, but deflected it out of play. 25 seconds left to go on the Prowlers power play. 15:41 up on the big board in this third period as the faceoff comes out to center, with the Prowlers playing it out of the playing surface. Wickline and Merritt in the face-off circle. Merritt wins it cleanly. Here's Freeborn. Turns to Graham. Now Jay. Dalton Jay steps around Rogers. Collects in the corner. Cycles it down low to Graham. Looking for Merritt. Comes right back to Matt Graham. Off the boards to Johnson at the top. Cross Freeborn put it on. Saved by Colgan. Penalty expires as Jamef steps out of the box. Prowlers 0 for 5 on the power play tonight. Rimmed around this side. Here comes Wickline. Port Huron got 2 shots on that power play. Dragons looking for a chance, and Hofflin just able to get a piece as he was sliding. That pass actually hit a Prowler stick on the way through. Almost fooled Wyatt Hofflin. 14:40 to go, third period. As Columbus looking to move up ice. Sent around. Foley couldn't chop it out. Here's Henning. Off the boards towards Devaney. He gives Foley. Now Foley dumps it in. Taken away by LaBelle in his own end. Josh LaBelle looking for Storjahan. He has him. It looked like it was blocked by the Prowlers. Storjahan just backhands it wide. Prowlers almost had that pass blocked, but it leaked through, and now Colgan has to play it away from Joe Devaney after LaBelle fumbled it in his own end. Here's LaBelle. Behind his own cage, waiting for a breakout to develop as the Let's Go Dragons chant begin here at the Civic Center. Kelly curls up ice. Now Storjahan as Kelly going to the net. Instead goes all the way across to King. Off his stick and deep. King rims it around towards Frageau. And Sharptrand sends it out. Here's Storjahan. All the way across looking for Doe. Doe Gives it up to Dragon fresh off the bench. That shot stopped by Hofflin, and he gets his glove on top of the rebound on the quick shot from Alexander Jemef. 13:05 to go in this third period. Prowlers still trail by 3. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
3-0 River Dragons, 13:05 to go in this third period. Prowlers had a power play, got 2 shots on it, but unable to beat Brendan Colgan. 0 for 5 now on the man advantage are the Prowlers. Early shots in this third period are 4-2 in favor of Columbus, 27-16 for the River Dragons for the game. And they just raffled off Edgar Ozelinch's jersey. Ironically enough, Ozelinch is not on the ice tonight for the Dragons as he's serving an 8-game suspension dating back to January 13th when he was part of a melee in Carolina. And melee in Carolina feels like something that we say often in this league. Of course, the Prowlers had a benches clearing brawl in Carolina, and by benches clearing I mean Carolina's bench cleared and came over to the Prowlers bench. 2-on-1 now for the Prowlers as here comes Jay with Devaney. Jay across to Devaney. That one handcuffed him a bit. He couldn't get it on net. Vanelli back the other way. Gave it to Doe, just rolled off his stick. And now battle ensues behind the net. Minnie works it up towards Jay, got through him. Rogers a wrist shot from the point, easily held on to by Wyatt Hofflin. 12:34 to go, third period. So that was one of the better chances for the Prowlers in this game, but Dalton Jay and Joe Devaney just couldn't link up, and another missed pass from the Prowlers results in a scoring chance going by the wayside. Aldworth lined up right behind Wickline, but Sam Merritt able to win the faceoff from him and prevent a quick scoring opportunity. Freeborn left it at the blue line. Here's Wickline. Petro Antonio fanned on the first pass attempt. Now Merritt takes the puck, gives to Freeborn in the slot, save, the rebound, bouncing around. Now Petro Antonio able to get it out. Petro Antonio leading the rush, gives to Aldworth. Aldworth with a step to the forehand. Saved by Hofflin, the rebounds, it's there in the crease. And Schumacher couldn't keep it out as Wickline scores. Cody Wickline in his first game back from suspension makes it 4-0 Columbus. As Hofflin just couldn't secure the shot from Aldworth. And Wickline got in there. Schumacher was trying to keep it off the goal line. Tried to put it right back into Hofflin's equipment, but he couldn't. And Cody Wickline, with his 12th goal of the season, extends the River Dragons' lead. Foley able to win the faceoff back. Prowlers look to get some pressure on. As Devaney wrists it on, puts deflected wide. Storage ahead. Got it taken away by Schumacher. Now Devaney chips it past Underwood. Here's Joe Devaney over to Foley. Couldn't pull the trigger as Rogers locked his stick up. Storage ahead up to Kelly the other way. Kelly, his saucer pass didn't go anywhere. Now it's Devaney with Foley back up towards River Dragon ice. Colgan plays it away from the oncoming Evan Foley. It's backhanded out. Now off the near side boards. Johnson trying to play it away from Storjahan. Storjahan, that taken away by Freeborn. Liam Freeborn drops for Jay. His shot rises over top of the net. Underwood up the near side. Heitzner just backhands it out as he takes a hit from Jay. 10:49 to go in this third period. Jay just trying to get it deep. Here's Graham. Graham gives it out towards Johnson, who had to knock down that pass. LaBelle back out, looking for Heitzner at the Prowler line. Icing is called against the Dragons, although it came off the backboards and hit Hofflin. So I'm going to guess that this will be the second my bad for the referees against the Dragons. No, they will say it was icing, so maybe Evan Foley got there before the puck hit Hofflin. Either way, a face-off deep in River Dragons territory. Merritt wins it back. Henning walks the line, puts it deep. Chartrand on it. Chartrand towards Mitty. Couldn't get the one-timer off, and then he skies one over top of the cage. Heitzner gives it to Underwood. River Dragons beginning a rush. Sent around to the near side. Frejo at the point. Goes down low towards Doe. Shemeff had the stick knocked out of his hands. Meanwhile, off a turnover, a quick shot from Heitzner, stoned by Hofflin. Frejo walks in, blocked by Chartrand, and then just sent it deep. LaBelle looking for the backdoor play to Heitzner. That hit a Prowler stick on the way through. Port Huron just looking to get it out, and Chartrand does. Past the halfway point of this third period. 4-0 Columbus. As Brendan Colgan has stopped all 17 Prowlers shot, looking for his sixth of the shutout of the season. As it comes to Wickline, he scores. Chaos in the Prowlers end off of the rush. It's 5-0 Columbus, and they've hit that magic number. 5 goals is what they've scored on the Prowlers in every single victory this season against Port Huron. Cody Wickline's second of the period. As there was bodies flying everywhere, he's able to find the puck and beat Hofflin. 9:10 to go in the third period. As I was saying, Brendan Colgan looking for his 6th shutout of the season, which is by far the league lead as Hofflin covers that one up. Of course, Colgan had 4 shutouts in a row immediately following his start in Port Huron on December 23rd. It's been rough sledding for him the 3 games since, but tonight he's looked like his old self. We'll take a timeout, 9 minutes to go in the third period. Prowlers down by a handful. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Nine minutes to go in Columbus, and the Prowlers trail the River Dragons 5-0. Will Wiggleman with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel here at the Columbus Civic Center. So the Prowlers playing their 7th of 8 games between the River Dragons this season. And if things stay the way they are, the Prowlers will have dropped 6 of those 7 games against Columbus, with one more coming tomorrow night here at the Civic Center. Wickline and Foley set to draw to Wyatt Hofflin's left. Face off, one back by the Prowlers. Here's Devaney on the breakout. Up towards Foley, off his stick into River Dragon territory, but sent right back out. And Matt Graham touched that puck, but offsides the call against the Prowlers as Foley wasn't all the way out of the zone. 8:45 to go in this third period. Cody Wickline with 2 in the period, looking to complete the natural hat trick. Graham just able to keep the puck in. Here's Schumacher, sends it on net, and Colgan has that covered up. 18th shot of the game for the Port Huron Prowlers. Comes off of Frank Schumacher's stick. That's just their 3rd of the period. Outshot by Columbus 4th of the period, excuse me. Outshot by Columbus 8-4 in this frame, 31-18 in the game. Schumacher shoots it again. That one stopped by Colgan. Counterattack coming from King. Lane King feeds it all the way across, looking for Justin Schmidt heading towards the net. I believe this is Schmidt's first shift of the night. He's able to send it out to center. Graham gives to Foley. Now Evan Foley rims it around this side to Alex Johnson. Johnson drops it to Schumacher. Quickly up to Freeborn. Here's Liam Freeborn. Sends it up. Foley in the Dragons' end. It's pushed right back out to center. We do want to give a big thanks while we have a chance as Federley dumps it in. Colgan with the glove save. Here's Rogers. Big thank you to the River Dragons media department for the use of their camera tonight. We appreciate them for that. Prowlers trying to work up. Here's Merritt. Merritt to Freeborn. Merritt down low looking for Jay. That one didn't connect. Puck comes all the way down. Icing waved off at the last second, so Gino Mini has to play it. Plays it right off of Jameff. Then Mini stole the pass away. A diving effort gets it out of the zone. 2-on-1 for the Prowlers. Here's Jay. Jay tried to feed it across, and LaBelle got down to block the pass. He was looking past all the way, and Josh LaBelle knew it, and he blocked it. LaBelle wrists it on, blocked on the way through. Kicked off of Doe's skate. Federley gets the red line, gets it deep. 6.5 to go in this third period as the Prowlers make a full change. Aldworth stymied by Chartrand, who's able to keep the puck in. Now Colgan plays it all the way across to the far side. Now here's LaBelle. LaBelle curling away from pressure. Gave it up to Henning at the blue line. Just wristed it wide. Dragons back out. But Matt Graham with a good steal of Jay Krupp. Krupp able to muscle Graham off the puck, however. Comes back to Henning. Now Krupp into the zone. Krupp taken away. Here's Larry Vartiainen. And now Henning. Johnson couldn't get Vartiainen. Now Vartiainen has it. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers. Here's Devaney towards Foley. They couldn't connect. Foley out to Johnson, shoots. And a save by Colgan. He'll hang on with 5:22 to go in the third. And Brendan Colgan has been sharp tonight when he's had to be. That's shot number 20 for the Port Huron Prowlers. Vanelli goes this side to Kelly. He backhanded it off of Foley. Now Jay put it on. Just missed wide. Foley again. Sends it all the way across. Schumacher's shot blocked on the way through. Jay rims it around. Frank Schumacher in from his defensive position to play the puck. His pass to Foley was cut off. Devaney. Taken away from him by Kelly. 2-on-1 for the Dragons. Kelly back to Storjay, back to Kelly. Good, pretty passing from the Dragons. They make it 6. And it's Jacob Kelly with his second of the night. 4:45 to go in the third period. The rout is on here in Columbus. Prowlers just looking to get through this last 4 minutes and 45 seconds, although certainly some motivation to end this shutout bid of Brendan Colgan. Petrantonio sends it out towards Heitzner, got through him. Kyle Heitzner, pass across, taken away by Federley. Federley able to bat it through. Merritt couldn't come down with the puck. Comes out in front. Colgan didn't know where it was. Now it's rimmed up the near side. Freeborn down low. Took a funny hop off the glass. Heitzner out to center. Worked over to Petrantonio on the near side. Played it off the side of the cage. Heitzner again, back to Jamef, steps in, shoots. That one blocked on the way through. Looks like it hit Chartrand. Now Alex Johnson pushing his way through Rogers. Here's Johnson. Gives it back to Graham. Across to Schumacher. That one handcuffed him. He couldn't field it cleanly. Now it's just sent all the way down by Columbus. Races on for it, and Schumacher beats Wickline to that puck, so icing called against Columbus with 3:27 to go in the third period. We will take our final timeout. It's 6-0 River Dragons with 3:27 to go in the third period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman. And the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We do invite you to tune in to our next broadcast tomorrow, January 28th, when the Prowlers visit these Columbus River Dragons again. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 7:15. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. The Prowlers certainly will have some sort of revenge in their mind and some sort of bounce back game that they'll be looking for tomorrow, though we do know they have the ability to bounce back from games like this. We saw it in Binghamton a few weeks ago after a 13-2 loss to the Black Bears in the first game of that series. They came back with a 6-5 victory. So we'll see if they can get a similar bounce back tomorrow night. In desperate need of points in the standings, with the Carolina Thunderbirds breathing down their necks. And depending on how games end tonight, the Thunderbirds could overtake the Prowlers for second place in the Continental Division. Heading through a hit on Wickline, down deep. Now here's Rogers, couldn't get it out. Vartiainen had it poked off his stick. Here's Aldworth. That was taken away from him. Fans want a penalty, they won't get one. Here's Krupp. Under 3 to play in this third period. Moved up towards Wickline. Wickline into the zone, has 2 goals in the game. His pass blocked by Chartrand, whose headman feed was in turn blocked by a River Dragon. It looks like the Prowlers will be heading to the box as Jay Krupp took a stick up high. And high sticking is the call against Dalton Jay, not a guy you see in the penalty box very often. This is just Jay's second minor penalty of the season. In game number 34, over his now 317 game FPHL career, this is game number 317, he now has just 91 penalty minutes. He's in the box for 2 as the River Dragons power play gets to work. Here's Storjahan, feeds it down low, gets it back. Alex Storjahan walks up high, put it on, and Hofflin makes the save through traffic and hangs on. 2:27 to go, third period. As the River Dragons up on shots right now, 35-20 in the game and 12-6 in the period. Federally towards Johnson. He just gets it out. Chartrand chasing it down. Colgan way out of his crease to play it. LaBelle kicks it up to his stick. Makes the pass over to the far side to Aldworth. Aldworth speeding in, that's Jacob Kelly. Now Storjahan. Back over towards Kelly, cuts through him to King. LaBelle quickly to Kelly. Across to Storjahan. Able to stop it and control. Storjahan almost poked off his stick, still has it, looking for Kelly. That pass just handcuffed him a bit. Pass comes down low and they score. Austin Federley blocked the pass and it found its way past Hofflin, and that's just the type of night the Prowlers are having. Lane King is going to get credit for the goal. It's 7-0. Prowlers just look out of gas here in this third period, as the River Dragons have put up 4 in this frame. Minute 39 to go in this third period. As here's Petrantonio. Gives to Rogers, back to Petrantonio. One touched it up for Schmidt. Poked off his stick. Prowlers with a rush the other way. Chartrand to Graham. Shoots, saved by Colgan. The rebound comes all the way out. Merritt fed the slot. Nobody home. River Dragons with numbers the other way. Jamef with the play offsides at the line. 1:15 left to go in this third period. Dump back in as Hofflin able to glove it and hang on. And that will just continue to delay the inevitable, as it's still 7-0, just now 1:06 to go in this third period. Here's Schumacher. Looking for Graham on the wall. That one taken away. Now Rogers, final minute of play as Rogers steps in, fires. Good glove save from Hofflin, and he'll hang on to it. 54 seconds to go in this third period. Now the Prowlers have to scoreboard watch. The Mississippi Seawolves and the Carolina Thunderbirds are tied at 2 as they play in the third period. If Carolina wins that one in regulation, they take second place in the Continental Division. Jamef to Rogers. Schmidt tried to give it back to Rogers as he's forced out to center. Jamef just puts it deep. Hofflin leaves it for Gino Mini. Up towards Devaney. Devaney across to Schumacher. Now up to Vartiainen, 24 seconds to go. River Dragons able to get it right back towards Prowler ice. It's tipped in. Final 12 seconds ticking off the clock. One more rush for the Prowlers with 8. There's Vartiainen. Blew a tire. And now Foley couldn't get the sharp angle shot to go. And Brendan Colgan has his 6th shutout of the season. It's a resounding 7-0 win for the Columbus River Dragons over the Port Huron Prowlers tonight at the Columbus Civic Center. Before we get too deep into the post-game show, just another reminder, tune in tomorrow night when these two teams battle again here in Columbus. Puck drop set for 7:30 and the pregame show starts at 7:15. Well, another tough first game of a road series for the Port Huron Prowlers. We saw it in Binghamton, and once again a shorthanded Prowlers unit struggles and runs out of gas in the third period as the Dragons poured it on in that final frame. Take one more quick look around the FPHL as the Binghamton Black Bears defeated the Danbury Hat-Tricks by a final score of 6-2. And they inch closer to the top spot in the FPHL's Empire Division. Motor City has a late 3-2 lead on the Watertown Wolves. Just about a minute and a half to go in Fraser, as the Wolves have just pulled their netminder. The Elmira Mammoth with a 5-1 lead on the Delaware Thunder. And it looks like Delaware is going to tie the record for losses in a row set by the Battle Creek Rumblebees in the 2019-20 season. That one late stages, third period in Elmira. Although the Thunder are leading in shots 40-34 in that one. Finally, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, it's still 2-2 between Mississippi and Carolina. That one with just about 8.5 minutes to go in the third period. And that's the one the Prowlers need to keep an eye on. If the Thunderbirds are able to score in this third period and take the lead and hang on to it, then it will be the Carolina Thunderbirds in second place in the Continental Division. Not too much to say about this one for the Port Huron Prowlers, as it was just a dominant effort from the Columbus River Dragons over a tired-looking Prowlers group. Brendan Colgan gets the first star of the night with the 21 save shutout. Cody Wickline had a pair of goals. He's the second star. Jacob Kelly, 2 goals, 1 assist. Gets third star honors. It was only a 3-0 game through 2 periods of play, but you just saw in that third period the Prowlers ran out of gas. They lost Zach Frescura all the way back in the first period. They were already playing with 9 forwards, ended up playing with 8 for the greater part of this game. And that is especially tough for a team like the Prowlers, who had to travel, got in earlier today, and now will try and bounce back tomorrow as they did in Binghamton just a few weeks ago. And that's going to do it for me here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel.